everybody. You are watching the Procure Smarter podcast with Dr. Sharon Cook. And today we are going to be talking to Janet Van Arsdale with JVA Art Group. So stay tuned. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, can you see me okay, or is there too much light behind me?
No, you look great.
Okay, good. All right. Let me see just a second.
Take your time. I'll do the same thing. Okay, I just want to ask you, I'm actually video recording this. Are you good if we video this?
Of course, I would love to be able to use it if it comes out
I would love
okay.
for you to use it too. I will make sure you get a copy of everything. All right, let's do this.
Okay, you ready for me?
I'm ready. I did some research on you. So first of all, I did a little introduction before you joined, but you are the founder of the JVA Art Group.
I am.
And we are going to talk about how you got started in your art career, and we're going to talk about JVA. So first of all, you were an art history major, right?
I was both a studio major, art major, and art history major, correct.
And the thing that fascinated me the most is you did a semester at sea.
I did.
Tell me.
Did. In my junior year of college, I went to UC Santa Barbara and was able to go with a couple friends to World Campus Afloat. I think it's called Semester at Sea now, long time ago. And we went to Europe, Africa, and South America. And I was lucky enough to have an art historian from Stanford on the ship with us. And because of other problems in some of the countries, she was able to take a lot of the art students with her for 3 to 4 weeks, all through Italy, from the top to the bottom. We learned all about the frescoes. We learned about everything. I filled up probably 4 or 5 notebooks with information, and that was the most important 3 or 4 weeks of my life up until that point.
That's amazing. And you literally got to see some of the most amazing art in person.
That's right. It was great. We saw Mona Lisa, of course. And what's even more kind of fun and exciting was that when I went back to college, I, obviously was a art history major and minor, and I got A's because I had just seen all of the pictures that they sent to us. So it was a very fun experience. It was probably the easiest thing I ever did, but it was fun.
Now, how long were you there? How long were you at sea?
A whole semester, about 4 months.
4 months.
Yes.
Wow. And all of that time, I know it's been several years ago. Is there one moment that stood out to you that was like, this is the moment that defines the trip for me?
It really was. It came right to my head. And again, this was, I hate to date myself, but this was 69, 70. It was a long time ago. The most kind of spiritual thing that we went to St. Francis of Assisi, and I had done some research on him, of course, but for some reason I got goosebumps going through there, and I learning all about him and learning the history. That was the only time that I really felt very spiritually connected to the art history and the history of Italy. It was beautiful.
Now, obviously, you majored in art, so you must have known that art was your passion. Did you know somewhere in the back of your head that this is what you would turn into a living, like make money from?
No, no, I was a painter, but my major at school was printmaking. I loved it. I was addicted to it. I started working in an art gallery when I was 16 years old before I went to college. It was during, high school, and I loved it. I loved being around all the art. It was the gallery was a plein air California art, and I didn't take any salary. I just started adding up whatever salary I had and kept trading it and buying art. So that was a great. And I tried that at 16 years old. And one of the things, all I would do is beg money from my parents to buy art with. And I didn't know it at the time, but that's really what it was. And then when I went back to college and I I studied printmaking. Printmaking was huge back then. That was the era of Norman Rockwell and Leroy Neiman, and then of course Picasso and Rembrandt, and they all did etchings and all did a lot of different types of artwork, but they were all graphics. That was screen graphics, that was intaglio, that was metal, it was lithography, the whole kit and caboodle. And I was addicted to it. I would go into the studio in the morning at 6 o'clock when it opened and stay there probably until 6 o'clock at night experimenting. I just loved it. And then I'll get an example was when I worked at the art gallery when I was still going to college, and when I got back from the ship that goes around the world, and there was a gentleman that came in and he sold it. It was kind of like a rep, and he sold graphics, and the lady that had the gallery was not into graphics as much as paintings, and so he goes, why don't you invite some of your parents friends over and to the house? And I did, and that night I sold, probably I was 20 years old, and I sold about $9,000 worth of art, some Rembrandt graphics, some all this other stuff. And then I just put that money back into the business. I started with my boyfriend, who then became my husband. We then learned framing. We went to all the shows, and I started my business when I was 20 years old, and that's how it started.
That is a fantastic story. So the company that we know as JVA Art today, that's what you started.
Well, I started it. It used to be the Art Collector. That was the name originally. And originally we were an art gallery. And then we morphed into being art consultants way back when, 1971. And we continued being art consultants. And I enjoyed it. We did a lot of law firms and banks and corporations, and a huge amount of Kaiser hospitals. We didn't really get into hospitality as much because they were using posters.
Right.
And I can go into that in a minute too, but they were mainly using posters, and I loved it. And then all of a sudden, a couple designers that were in hospitality were saying, you know what, we can't find what we're looking for, and instead of giving you what you have, can you do the art with what we want, and instead of what you have? And I said, okay, not knowing anything. And a designer said, can you go take some pictures? Can you change them around for me? Can you give me exactly what I want? The right color, the right style. Don't make it look like a photograph. And I said, okay. And I did. And then she said, okay, can you go take more pictures? And it ended up that I started going around the world and taking pictures all over the world. And my camera kept getting better and better. I now use a $50,000 Mamiya medium format camera. I just got a Hasselblad as well. A little bit lighter now as I get older. And we went to everywhere. We went to Europe. We went all through the United States. We went to Asia, Canada, South America, all kinds of different places. And when we got back, one of the designers introduced us to a lot of the people at Marriott. And that's kind of how our new thing started. We were asked to show us what we had done. And up until then, posters and little botanicals were what it was in most of the hospitality. You remember,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always a plant in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. And so my team came up with the idea that if we could show both Marriott and Hilton, which were the two big brands at the time, how to get away from the posters, how to make sure that the image would not fade, because a lot of times you'll see the pink and blue of faded imagery, how it will not go out of print like posters went out of print, how it would tell a story, and how it would be exclusive to the brand. And from that, we were absolutely the biggest pioneers in art for hospitality way back when, like 20 years ago. And we were the first people to do art for both the Marriott Courtyard and the Hilton Garden Inn. And then
so
now
let's
everybody.
talk about that for just 1 second, because those are really important points that you made. One, that the print does not go out of production. So if a guest damages your piece of artwork, you can get it again.
Absolutely.
Right. And the other one is that it is specific to that project. You are not going to see that art in every hotel you go into.
That's right. I mean, it's great. I mean, it was revolutionary, I guess, to them. You know, they were just looking at posters, and it was kind of the bane of their experience because bane of their existence, because it would go out of print, it would fade. They had to replace it, and then they couldn't get it again, and so they had to have a whole new frame. They had a whole new everything, but they never told the story of what the property was trying to tell the clients, and then it was not exclusive to what they were doing. So we did all
Right.
that.
Now, up until you pioneered this, there really was only two options. And I've only been doing purchasing, I like to think a long time, but about 24 years. And when I started, there were only two options out there. It was the poster print
Uh-huh.
or it was commissioned art.
Uh-huh.
And very rarely could you afford, or you might have one piece in the lobby, but
Right.
you really could not afford a lot of commissioned art in a hotel. So it was the poster print was your only option.
Correct. And now, because of printing and giclées, and again, that was my major, so I love doing it. It's now affordable. So, and that's what really brought it down. And you have to kind of realize what you're getting. Are you getting a reproduction that can go out of print? Well, not out of print. It will never go out of print if you can use it through a computer. But will it fade? And is it a real giclée? Because giclée uses archival inks and archival paper, and they won't fade.
Right.
That's
So
what we.
I actually learned quite a bit about commissioned art this year. I worked on the AC Greenville project for Oro Hotels, and that project has, I think I want to say roughly 130 pieces of commissioned art. And so I spent the last 2 years really learning, like from the very, very ground up, of like how to talk to artists and what is real art cost, and if I want to turn that piece of art into a print, what does
Mhm.
that cost me and how does that work? So I learned a lot, but I mean, just a little scratch of the iceberg is what I learned compared to somebody who's in the industry.
Well, the good thing about JVA now is that we're both the artist, and we're also the art consultant. So we can exactly what you said. We can go out and get 134 different artists that will follow the theme, that will follow the story. But then all of a sudden the expenses start. You have to usually pay a royalty fee, a licensing fee. You have to pay for design work. You have to do framing. You have to do manufacturing. You have to add, of course, installation, and we try to absorb all of that into one cost, and that has helped us quite a bit. But by putting both hats on, it has really made a big difference from what we can do for you.
Now, is there a size of project that you work on? Do you do, the very small onesie twosies all the way up to the massive installations?
Yes, we do all of that. We'll be happy to do one piece. Wall covering is one of our big things. We have a person in-house that's all she does is patterning for wall covering. And we send that out a lot to people to show that. But we can do everything from one piece, excuse me. We just finished a 17-story naval headquarters in San Diego, and that was about a 2-year project. We've also worked on hotels that have taken 3 years. So, and they were huge. We've done everything from all of the corridor art, all of the art in the rooms, all of the art in the restaurants, the meeting rooms, even on ceilings, niches, sculpture. We have a ball. We really love a challenge. And we have the team. Right now, we have a team of about 12 people that they're here waiting to talk to designers and put together a wonderful art practice for them.
That's amazing. Okay, now you and I had an opportunity to talk at a recent event.
Mhm.
And we were talking about some challenges in the industry. And I just want to kind of touch on a little bit about, technology has come a long way. When I started, when you were an art history major, what can be done with computers and cell phones nowadays is crazy. But how do you think that's impacted what you do for a living? Is it made it better or has it made it harder?
Well, what
Or
kind
is
of
it both? Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. They are now saying that anybody with a camera and even a smartphone camera can do art for rooms. So it's a little bit challenging. We like to say that because we use a medium format camera, we can blow things up, 2 or 3 stories, and we can with a nice high resolution. But it's I love the idea, and every single year it gets better and better. The technology gets more and more. We're starting to put technology into our artwork. We just finished doing our app for AR. That is wonderful. We embed the information into any of the pictures that you buy from us, and you use your smartphone and you scan it, and out can pop everything from a scavenger hunt, more information, if it's local themes. It can be a restaurant, it can be room art, it can be unbelievable. And then the other thing that we did for the Marriott booth at BDNY a couple years ago was CGI is computer generated imagery, and it is so exciting. The hardware is expensive, but we're really known for our content, and it's different from just a video, because a video is the size really makes a difference. But with a computer aided generator, you could have it all the way around a building. You can have it anywhere, and it just keeps coming. We did one with rushing water down down the image is great. We love doing that. But since we're really known for our content, we have over 1 million images available, 650,000 that I took, and over probably 500,000 that my office team has developed over the years. So we're known. Most of the other art consultants use other artists, so they don't really have the art that they own like we do.
That is so crazy to think that you've taken 650,000. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't even get it out. You've taken,
with a 10-pound camera.
I mean, that's crazy. Like, my head is like, is that the right number? 650,000? Is that?
Yep, we have a server in our office that's 100 terabytes.
Wow.
So
I'm assuming this database is pretty it's pretty intuitive. Like, you would have to be able to go in and like type in like a key element that you're looking for, because who could sift through that many images?
You're absolutely right. The straight photographs have all been tagged, and we're working on tagging all of our imagery that we developed in our office right now. We have a one person full time that's all he's doing is tagging, so that we can do that. But if somebody needs a palm tree on a beach, we can just put in their palm tree beach, and up pulls all of our imagery. Not necessarily the artified imagery, but the imagery on the photographs. We just don't want to be known as a photographic based company, because most of our images are not photo based. They may take elements out of some of my photographs, but I use them as tools.
Right. Now, are you still taking photographs on a daily basis? Are you still out
No.
there?
Well, first of all, no, because of COVID, of course.
Right.
COVID interfered even with
COVID.
I know, even with we shared our 50-year anniversary with COVID. So, but no, in fact, I did get before COVID came along, my son we got a new Hasselblad, and the Hasselblad I didn't have before. It's the same computer as a Mamiya, but the Mamiya is more horizontal, 6 by 4.5, whereas the Hasselblad was always square format. And so the new Hasselblad is now a rectangle format, and it helps us. Obviously, we could do it horizontal, vertical, or square. And so the problem is that some of the it's so the body wasn't outrageously expensive, but the lenses are crazy. They're up to $20,000 a piece.
Wow.
So when COVID came and hit, and I don't really travel that much anymore, but we do travel a lot. If we are doing a big job, we do that. Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you have a favorite place that you've been or that you would
Yes.
still like to go?
Yes.
What is it?
I love Japan. And my favorite place is Kyoto. We were lucky enough to go to Kyoto during cherry blossom time. And it was awesome. It was ethereal. It was mind blowing. It was wonderful. You'd see all these gentlemen in their full suits, right from, work, sitting under beautiful blossoming cherry blossoms of all colors. You would see ladies in regular dresses or kimonos with their parasols, just like they did 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago. I loved it. I loved the people there. They were sweet. They were nice. They were helpful. And one of my best pictures, I didn't show it to you, but I have two. We went to a place called Gion Corner, and this is where everybody would come to show their wedding kimonos. And they also had two little girls that were dressed like geisha girls, and they were like 5 and 6 years old. I don't know. I mean, if you know the history of geisha girls, you really don't think that that's a very good thing to see. But boy, was it gorgeous! So if anybody's interested, I'll be happy to send them a picture. It's
I would
beautiful.
love to have one. Please send me one.
I will. I will. Thank you. Mhm.
Okay, so for anybody who would like to reach out to you, what's the best way? Who should they reach out to and how should they get you?
Okay, well, they want to see our website. Our website is jvaartgroup.com. I mean, I hate to say this, but we are expanding our website and having a new one because we want to show imagery on our website now. We want to show our different styles. So we are upgrading. But right now it's really nice. And then my office number is 619. We're in San Diego. 619 299-3232, but they can always get me by my cell, and my cell number is 619-857-2272.
Perfect. And that's it. Thank you. That wasn't hard, was it?
No, I had a ball. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we will upload all of this. The time frame for getting all of this uploaded is a couple weeks out because I've kind of stacked up a little bit.
Okay.
But before it goes live, I will send you all the promo information that you need so that you can use it on your end.
Okay. Was it okay? Did I stutter too much?
No, it was perfect. Your lighting was beautiful and your sound was perfect.
I was slow enough, right?
You were good. You were listen, the biggest fear for me is that a guest will come on and they will say 2 words and then they will just sit there and stare at you. So
Oh no, that's not my problem, as you know. But yesterday when I was talking to you and I was talking real fast, I'm having a sciatica problem and I was taking tons of aspirins for pain, and the aspirin has caffeine in it and was making me hyper. So I didn't do that.
You were perfect. Thank you very much, Janet.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.